Hi guys, we're back.
Welcome to
The Bourbon Barrel.
I'm Neat.
I'm Rox. So,
What do we got today?
what we've got today is Heaven's Door Straight Bourbon Whiskey. He'll put it up here somewhere by the time you see this. And this is kind of a special occasion. I asked Neat if we could do this and if he would, be cool with this because we're not doing 3 today in this episode. It's a kind of single, short, mini, whatever you want to call it. And as I told you before about occasional whiskeys, I should have actually said special occasion whiskeys. So I'm still getting my thing, and we've talked about before. So special occasion whiskeys or bourbons. I bought this, and it's about half gone now because in the past year, I bought it maybe a year ago. I've sipped at it a few times by myself and with friends for different purposes, but it's always usually to remember somebody who had passed or something like that. It could just be a day that makes you feel like that. I think it's a great idea. I think you should do it with whatever you like to drink, whether it's bourbon or wine or whatever. Have a bottle to remember people. And when you're watching this, or when we're releasing this, I guess you can watch it afterwards. It'll be October 16th, 2021. On October 16th, 2021, my parents would have been married 53 years, and my dad would have turned 92 years old. Sadly, they're both gone. My dad passed in 2003 and my mom in 2009. So I asked them if we could do this so I could do a little shout out and we could cheers and, to my parents, and they were terrific people. Dad was a little rougher around the edges. For those of you who knew my dad and my mom, this will probably resonate more. For those of you who didn't, just watching, I appreciate it. That's great. Thank you very much. We both do. Please hit subscribe. Please like us, all that stuff. Dad was rough around the edges, had really hard upbringing. He was a orphan, and he didn't know his parents, and he went in the military as soon as he possibly could, and he actually told me a story once about lying about his age to get into the military earlier. So he served in Korea, and he had a very inappropriate, rude, sarcastic sense of humor. That's where this comes from. My mom was not that person. My mom was the opposite. She lived her whole life for everybody else. She was happy to make other people happy. She was always happiest if she could get everybody around her happy, and she would do anything for anybody. And she was just, they were different in that way. My dad was the strong one. My mom was the compassionate one. A lot of you know that are watching this that knew those people. Carolyn and Sid. They were great, and I miss them every day. And I just wanted to do a shot in recognition and a toast to their anniversary to my dad's birthday, and that's pretty much it. Now, to give you a little backstory, because of what we do here on the show, now the Heaven's Door whiskey or the bourbon, actually, this one's straight bourbon whiskey, is Bob Dylan's creation. He's a collaborator, part owner, or whatever. The gates are the gates of his metalworking studio that he created, that he painted, I believe, first. It was a painting. And then he found all these pieces, and he built it from found items all over the world in scrap yards and rummage sales and things like that. And he really, he loves doing that. He's got a great quote on the website for Heaven's Door about the gates and stuff like that. So that's pretty much where that all comes from. That's why this is named Heaven's Door, because he wrote Knocking on Heaven's Door. So anyway, that's pretty much all I had for the little spiel. I kind of thought I'd get I am a very emotional person. Earlier today, practicing this, I was very emotional about it. Right now, I'm not. Haven't had a single drink yet. That's probably part of it, but it's also just that, it's kind of early, and it's just, I kind of had some tears earlier about it, and it'll happen again sometime, I'm sure, and I'm sure you'll see it on an episode or something, because they were awesome. My dad was my best man at my wedding. They were just terrific, and I always wish they were here, but, just going to give it a shot and see what happens. I've had this before. You have never?
Never.
No. Okay. And this retails for around $50, $45 to $50. They have a couple different options, if you will. It's not just this. They've got some different versions, if you will. And I'll let you pour what you wish to pour, sir. But of course. So, yeah, that's kind of it. This might have a different flavor profile than it did when I opened it. I don't really still think I have that palate or that memory to remember the first time I opened it to tell you. We might give it a rating on the ratings scale. You can always look at the Facebook page for that. I'm going to try to keep that as updated as I can. I'm going to work on that later today.
And we'll throw it on Twitter too.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll make sure well, as long as you'll do
I
that
got
part. Yeah, I do the Facebook page thing, and I'm not good at it. I'm still learning that too. So this is new
Education,
to me. And
baby.
this is all thanks to him. Like, he's doing way more stuff than I am as far as technically speaking, and I try to hold up my end.
I just throw things on the internet.
It's true. So try the nose, I guess. I don't know, and see.
Well, that is definitely alcohol.
Yeah. It doesn't smell like Pepsi. Who knew? It's 92 proof.
Okay, so it's mid-range proof area, and it's
Yeah.
I can smell some wood.
Really? I didn't know there was any already. Anyway.
You shower now.
Right. So here, cheers to Mom and Dad.
parents.
Thank you very much. We'll give it a sipperoo.
It's pretty mellow.
There's just a little burn. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't. As I sort of discussed with you a little bit earlier, I don't believe. I just keep moving the bottle. Like, I don't. Like, I'm gonna be like.
What do I do with my hands?
Yeah, and I do this when I'm talking too. I'm always. That's me for sure. But I don't think this is their whiskey yet. This is a blend. I think they blended it.
Okay.
From what I was reading. And they're building a distillery in Tennessee in an old church, apparently, that I think it said it was going to be open this year when I looked it up earlier, which is neat. Yeah. And I also forgot. I know I read before that when you buy the Heaven's Door stuff, part of their proceeds go to food banks and things of that nature. I think it's all bottles. I think that's just their brand. They give a portion of the proceeds to food banks. So I always like things like that when I read it. So, whether it's the tree planting or the given to charity or something. So,
cool.
So it's not terrible.
No, I've put worse things in my mouth.
Absolutely.
I'll say that again
I remember meeting her. Yeah. Sorry.
Don't be worth it. All right. On the second sip, what are you feeling?
I think the burn was less. I think the first burn, the initial burn, was way less. The second one.
That's the whole Kentucky Hug idea. Is the first one you're going to let it do what it does to your mouth, and the second one you're going to taste.
We're also not icing either one. It's just one thing, and we're just double sipping. So it's just like our normal episodes, sort of. We're kind of doing something new every time a little bit to try to, we're creating our vision.
We're working on it.
Yeah. So, but you know what? That one, this shows me something that I wasn't picking up or good at or whatever before, when we were kind of add ice, more sip, not sip. Like, I feel like without doing it with ice and just taking that break like that, and we didn't even like cleanse our palates or anything. I really caught different. Like, it was way more chill the second sip than the first one was. Like, I thought. Did you think?
Absolutely. There's less of a burn on the second. It still makes your tongue feel a little bit of tingle.
Yeah.
And it's holding on.
Yeah.
It's got legs, baby.
It does. It's not. I mean.
As for the flavor profile,
right?
I mean, there's definitely.
I'm gonna go third sip. Very tiny third sip. I want to see some. I'm just very interested because I feel like that. That second sip was the most pronounced second sip of anything we've tried. The difference I felt. Like, I could really. Yeah. Maybe it's early. It's our first drink of the day. We didn't start with White Dog.
I can start bringing like oyster crackers or something.
Hey, I'll eat whatever you put in my mouth.
Well, that's what they do with all the wineries.
Right, it's crackers,
oyster
right?
Crackers,
Yeah. I think we should cleanse our palate with better things. I don't think it's gonna.
What's better than an oyster?
I don't think everything.
Oh.
I don't. I don't think we can. We have to cleanse our palate with bland shit.
That's fair.
Like, I mean, they do that. Everybody else does it. We should do something else. Let's cleanse our palate with pizza and tacos and fucking fun shit.
I
Like,
got some chicken cooking.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. We're gonna.
So, on your third sip.
I haven't taken it.
Oh, okay.
I'm good. I'm having a good time. Wow, that always comes up. The burn came back a little. Boy, that is so weird. At least to me, it feels so weird that the first one was a little burn. The second one felt like almost no burn. That one's like a middle burn or something.
You gotta go for your fourth.
No, I'm good for that. But
I'm not tasting any vanilla, and it says that you should be able to taste some
vanilla,
baking spices and vanilla layered. But
no,
I am getting the toasted oak.
I didn't get vanilla either. You're right.
It's very oak heavy. It could be because it's been open.
Right, and that's another.
That could be the thing.
Yeah.
I've never tasted this, so it's not bad. It's a very middle of the road, but it's not gonna, it's not White Dog. It's not Jefferson's aged at sea.
No, it's not. No.
But it's not gonna win like all the awards at a show either. So,
no.
But it's for the price point for what it is.
Yeah, I mean it's
a cool thing. It's got the artwork is cool. It's got some niche stuff, and the Bob Dylan aspect of it, and the donation of proceeds stuff. But
I agree.
It's got some cool things going for it, for sure.
Yeah.
It's worth adding to a collection just for some.
They have some special releases, limited editions.
Yeah.
I was showing him a bootleg thing that's like 500. I mean, but they have another one that's like 100. A new one that's like paired with Redbreast, which is a Scotch from Scotland. Yeah. All right.
Yes, you do.
It's something that they aged in after the bourbon was done. They put it back. They put it into barrels that Redbreast had used already.
Okay.
So used Redbreast barrels for an extra, I want to say, year or 15 months or something.
There's a lot of like barrel
collaborations
a lot of bourbons are finished in like casks of like port wine and things like that.
Sherry and
then there's a lot of like scotches and stuff that are using bourbon barrels now to finish their aging.
I've seen documentaries that say most scotches these days start in bourbon barrels because we can't reuse them. Mm-hmm. Like the bourbon has to be in new charred oak barrels to be a bourbon. So as soon as they do it once, they ship them off, usually to Scotland or Ireland.
They usually sell them for like at least half of what they paid for them, which is a real nice way to recoup.
Or to blenders, and then the next thing you know, it's like aged in bourbon casks and things like that. And it might not be a bourbon; it might be a whiskey.
Yeah, it could be a whiskey or something like that.
I think there's even scotches that say aged in bourbon casks.
That's true. So from what I was reading when we were creating our baby barrel, is that you can age things in them about 4 or 5 times before all like the tannins and vanillins and things like that are pretty much spent, and you're not getting any extra benefit. You could rechar it, but it's still not going to bring back those like tannins and things. It's just going to filter it better because the char is what's filtering the bourbon and making it clear like that and pretty.
Right. That's interesting. I'm not pandering at all. So I don't give a fuck. Sorry, I shouldn't swear when I just did a toast about my parents. Edit that second out of that. Anyway, I don't give a crap. I'm very interested to see what that tastes like when we taste it.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty stoked about that thing. This is the first time doing it, and putting stuff into a barrel that normally is what they use as the precursor to bourbon. Putting it in a barrel like that, I think, will be an interesting. Like, I've had bourbons that have been aged like the minimum 4 years, and I'm not a fan. Right.
So, no. Yep.
So the fact that this says it's going to be done in like 1 to 2 weeks, like I'm thinking maybe.
I'm very like, you know what I mean, cautious. Right. I'm not expecting to taste E.H. Taylor when we open the thing, but I'm just very interested to see if it's very like. Hot. Does it hold on deep? Is it a heavy burn? What's the color look like?
And
does it color or doesn't it?
We put in basically 750 mils worth of White Dog, so there will be more than enough for us to like have a shot a week for some time. Right.
To see how it ages as it goes.
So like where the pinnacle is of like, okay, this is aged to perfection. This is too young. This is too much. Right. Because that's the worry with these barrels is that you can overage very quickly.
Sure.
So that'll be something. But,
I'm very excited just to try it, honestly. So I think that'd be cool.
Yeah. But thank you for sharing this with me, and thank you for sharing your story about your parents with us. It's most appreciated.
I just, like I said, it's special occasion stuff. Like it's, maybe there'll be a bourbon that one of us buys and we say, well, let's just have this on birthdays or something for somebody else because they liked this or some reason. I don't know. Maybe it's St. Go on somebody's day. I don't know. Just maybe there'll be a special occasion.
I always celebrate St. Nicholas's holiday.
St. Nicholas's holiday?
It's Christmas.
Oh, that's what that is.
But yeah, leave us some comments about like some of your favorite like things to special
the fat
events
guy and the cookies and all that. Yeah.
Special events that you bring special bourbons out for, things like that.
Yeah,
I'm sure some of you do.
Give us some name ideas for our first batch. Throw it out there
for the first batch of the White Dog.
So yeah, I think that'd be cool. I don't know.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. And as always,
I'm Rox.
I'm Neat, and this has been
the Bourbon Barrel. Thank you.